Right, so the last videos that we had in regards to FLS lore were, if I recall, the Half-Ogres and the Merrickson Wardens. Oh, and we had the Temple Guard of Galeria as well. And they've been okay and everything, but I know that it's gone a bit messy recently, is a fair enough assumption, and I know that part of that reason is because I've been thinking about Soul of the Gem. There's been dyspraxia stuff, so it's been a bit all over the place, and there's also been dependent on time, which has been a bit up and down with being ill and then being okay and then being ill again. So what I am wanting to do to add some methodical nature to this is that I want to start giving some background to I would like to give background context to the first book, but I have already done that. So I will probably rehash that video with the map now laid out properly and everything. But I can do it for Tonroof's War. Give a whole lay of the land and have that, because I've been watching a lot of the War of Middle-earth Darth Gandalf stuff again. So I could use that as the preemptive maneuvement, and it kind of goes in line with the 9 Days of Silver and ambush at Rolathine. So I can give context, and now there's been more lore development. There's other bits I can throw in, because as much as Tonroof's War itself is focused on Destinal, it does coincide with what precurses the Idros Years of Sorrow in the Twin Isles. And I'm waving my mouse even though I know you can't see that. And then there's also obviously conflict that happens on Shah. Now, and I do want to establish this because it is a bit loose in the timeline at the moment, but Tonroof's War does indeed happen after the Athalas barrier has taken Aracyn out of the equation. So both Aracyn and Onarkivris are out of the equations for this. And the Arachnylith Archipelago, whilst it's not blocked off by anything per se, it's its own thing, and I will go into... That is actually one thing I could do, is actually do some more details on that as well. Because that's the other thing I want to do. I want to take each region and do details on each of them. So those are going to be the two sort of main focuses with lore content for the next little while. Go through Tonroof's War, the key battles, the key years and everything, and then lead that into the Years of Sorrow, which they can then lead into Galakaros, and then it will lead into what I have actually just made notes of today, the Piece of Bronze, which pieces out the regions that have been involved in all of that, which will then give me some area to focus on timeline developments that both lead to the future events like the downfall of the kingdoms, as well as give some more focus towards Aracyn, Onarkivris, the Arachnylith. And something else that I have just been thinking on and developing, and this is the new bit, and it's something that I was thinking about for a while, and it does play into something that is happening after Galakaros, specifically involving the Dragons and the Trolls. And that is, and possibly the Dwarfs as well, which could be interesting because we don't see many Dracon and Dwarf team-ups in this part of the lore. But Subterranean, pretty much the thing that I came up with earlier in the week is basically everything that is going off that you don't see on this map, the stuff that's going on beneath. A new group, a new force, which is a bit of a collection. It is also a force that is led, that gives context to two sort of lost peoples very early on into the lore, or into their lore. So it gives some further development and allows them to have a bit more of a legacy. And it has also been a way for me to introduce something that I've and ahhed about introducing into Avalas for quite some time, and that is vampires. And whilst they're not gonna, I do want to make abundantly clear they're not gonna be like the Warhammer vampires. They're not gonna be these masters of the undead or things like that. They can have some elements of that, but it's not going to be full on to that. So they are going to have their own little twists, and there are multiple other creatures that are freshly being developed and worked on, as well as some older ones that are being given a bit more context now, like the bestial sprites and even the Targs people. Like, I'm finally giving them some more basically explanation as to how they're able to do what they can do. And there is something else as well. And it's something that honestly with the Avalas map has bothered me for absolutely ages. And it's this. It is this section of water up here. And it's bothered me for a while, and I'm not putting a landmass in there, that's not happening, but I have also just had some ideas about it, because the problem is that Avalas's world is round or spherical. It matches the Earth in that case. That's why Onarkivris connects to Onarkivris, Arasin connects to Arasin. So logically, this connects all the way down to here, or something along those lines. So it felt like there needed to be something there, otherwise it's just a blank bit of water in the corner of the map that I didn't know what to do with. So now I've also given some context to that, which I'm still undecided on one critical part of it, but there are several ideas that could have a lot of interesting connotations for the land masses and everything, or some of the geography of it. But yes, and what I will note is that the actual peoples that consist of this vampiric army, very few of them are actually vampires. That's something I'm not making like this mass horde that can come out and attack. Or at first I'm not. No, but it gives some context, and it also gives a unique twist where it essentially allows two peoples to interact that otherwise would have never had the capabilities to, because the timeline just wouldn't have lined up. So yeah, keeping it a bit mysterious there, but and I think one other video that I am going to do, and I might make this one of the primary ones, is just go through all the peoples that we have at the moment. Go through all of them, every single one, who's aligned to good, who's aligned to evil, who falls somewhere in the middle. It could actually be fun to like come up with like this good evil sort of scaling and have it listed like that. And whilst we're just chatting about the YouTube as well, I will also apologise for never being able to get that other dyspraxia video out. Obviously I wasn't anticipating being ill, so that's the main reason why. But by the looks of things, the awareness week did actually go down quite well, and that's very, very good. Yeah, I haven't. There's already subterranean stuff established, like the tunnel network and things like this, so this is just pointing out is like there's more than just that underneath, and in the tunnels and in the underlands and everything. So, but the way I have painted them up is that they are pretty much the grand equivalent of neutral or chaotic neutral. They cause Nagrasak a lot of problems on a lot of occasions, but at the exact same time, they literally raid like the forces of Destinal a few times and the trolls a couple of times, so they're no friends of the good either. They're just in the middle, out for their own purposes, pretty much. So, if I could, I would add like another layer to this map where I could do like the underlying cities, or locations that indicate where they are. But I'm not sure how possible that's going to be. Because technically, if I was to do that, then Nasilla Beth would have to actually be one of them as well, seeing as that is actually, underground. But for those of you on YouTube, yes, I know this was a bit of a shorter video, but I do want to just make a special mention of the factor that all content and everything in terms of the books and all that is on the Ko-fi page. I still have a discount code going for it, which I will put in the video description. It is only good until some point in November, and it is for the ebooks only. Athalasta, Dyspraxia, Soul of the Gem Coder, Chivalry, all of them. I do also feel like I need to do a few more videos on Coda Chivalry. It feels like that needs a bit more love as well. So, but I also wanted to bring all of this up because there might be a bit of a schedule change, but actually in a good way, because it might give some more formatting to stuff. So yeah, that could be coming up. But yes, and I will put that discount code in this video description. Please do check them out on the Ko-fi page. And I also want to make a note that on the Ko-fi page, the books themselves are not the only way you can support. There are, obviously, you can follow and everything like that, which is fantastic. That's awesome. There are membership tiers that have different points of benefit and access. The top two tiers, if you become a member to one of them, it will allow you to create a character that will be completely lore accurate to Athalas. As in, you can make them, you can make as much of them or as little of them as you want, and the one rule, the only rule, is that they don't go and blow up the world or something. So they can be introduced, and you can have them introduced with however you like, but you have to obey by the established law. So that's the but thankfully, in the grand scheme of things, considering how old this world's set up to be, and that it will go on beyond the books as well, the overall amount of lore that I've been able to do, whilst it is sizable in the time I've been able to do it, is also quite slim. So plenty of room for creation. So there is that, among other things, among also built-in discounts on certain things on the shop. So, and then also there's just the general tips. So yeah, and just addressing the YouTube in general, we're almost halfway into the 70 territory with subscribers. And I know that it's maybe stretching it a bit, but if we could get to 100 by the end of the year, I'd be happy with that. It would be a very good time if I could get to about 100 on the YouTube and about 100 on the 100 followers on the Twitch, and then like, however many followers on the Ko-fi. I know a lot of people, when you line it up, like they would lean more on Buy Me a Coffee or Patreon than Ko-fi. I have my reasons for picking Ko-fi, and a lot of those sort of bend on the factor that for doing this sort of stuff as an author, Kofi does have some benefits and things that the others don't. So, yeah. And I also looked at something the other day, and it's going to essentially mean that I'm going to have to be rehashing through a bit more of Arthur's Shah towards the end, because there's some stuff that needs a bit more development or toying around. Which is going to be fun. It's going to be the third attempt. But I want to get it right. And yeah. So, okie dokie. That is all I have to say. And Pebble, if you are there, we need to be getting set up for an event. So, I will catch you all on the next one for the YouTube. Please do comment, like, and subscribe. Please do check out the links in the description. I will apologise as they've been a bit quiet the last couple of weeks, but I've been ill on and off, so hopefully, whilst I'm not feeling 100% yet, it is going. I know it's going because comparison to how I was feeling this time last week, yeah. So, fingers crossed, and welcome to the Kingdom of Avalas and the world of Fellow Mind books. Yes, I did very nearly forget that.